Welcome to Healthy Cleveland. I'm your host, Leah Haslage. Today, we'll be discussing fall prevention for older adults, and it's part of the new age-friendly program. With us today is, from the Division of EMS, Commissioner Nicole Carlton, and President and CEO of Fairhill Partners, Dr. Stephanie FallCreek. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start off by discussing what age group we're kind of looking at here with fall prevention and when falls really tend to start.
Well, first of all, falls can happen at any age, and we always need to be aware of that, but we're especially concerned with falls sort of in the second half of life, 50 and better, and especially 60 and older.
And what are some of the common reasons that people might fall? I mean, it's not always just a tripping case.
There's lots of reasons. We look at it could be just a medication issue, especially when seniors are on 4 or more medications, and that includes over-the-counter medications. We look at tripping hazards in the home. So we look at they can be prevented by clutter removal, wearing the proper shoes, tripping over rugs that are out or extension cords. Somebody who is having a stroke, if you have limited use of your extremities, you may have an issue with that. Reduced muscle strength. As we get older, our bodies definitely change. So we lose muscle strength, and where we would have been able to walk maybe further, we can no longer do that. We look at poor vision. And especially when we don't put our glasses on, we may have an issue of walking and we don't see the trip hazards around the home. And then just balance, it changes as we get older.
Now, what are some of the injuries that someone might get from these falls?
We look at the biggest one is going to be your hip fractures, and that's debilitating for our seniors, and it's really important that we look at preventing so we don't have the hip fractures. Also, head injuries, and those cause a lot of hospitalizations between the hip fractures and the head injuries. And then as they fall, extremities. Obviously the lower legs, but then as you go to catch yourself, the forearms can break, and that causes wrist or forearm fractures.
Now, if an older adult falls, whether it's yourself, someone, your loved one, what's the safest way to get them up? Because if they do have a fracture or something of that nature, I mean, you don't want to make it worse.
Well, really, there are different kinds of falls, as we just talked about, and different ways to get up. The first thing you need to do, though, is check yourself out, or if you're caring for someone, check them out, because getting them up may not be the right thing to do. If you've checked yourself out and it looks like you're safe to get up, then there are actually some very specific techniques that you can learn about how to get up safely.
And what are some of those techniques?
Well, for one thing, taking your time. Taking your time prevents falls, and if you have fallen, taking your time helps you get up safely in the process. Not grabbing onto something that might shake loose or that might not carry your weight. So in the Matter of Balance program, we actually show and teach people how to get up from a fall.
Now, if you see that someone is constantly having these imbalanced problems and falling, or even if it's yourself, what's the next step? What's the best thing to do?
Well, the number one thing to do is to check with your healthcare provider, because there may be a reason for these falls that can be absolutely corrected. As bad as all of the injuries are with falls, maybe the worst consequence of so many people falling, and about a third of all people over the age of 65 fall every year, right? The worst thing about that often is the fear that develops. Fear for future falls, because then that can lead to constrained behavior. And if you don't move around enough, then you begin to get the muscle weakness that Nicole referred to, and so that will aggravate your risk. Sometimes the things that you do that you think are reducing your risk of a fall are the very things that increase your risk of a fall. And you need to speak with your healthcare provider, find out if there is a reason that you're starting to fall more, or if there's something that you can do to make your environment safer, your legs stronger, your flexibility greater. All of those things can help reduce your risk of falling.
Commissioner, you had mentioned earlier about medication. Now, with that, is there only certain kinds that will affect your balance, or is this something that you need to go to your provider and say, hey, let's check this out?
Any new medication, you really want to read what the side effects can be. So any new medication, you should watch what your reaction is going to be to that medication. We look at, a lot of seniors are on hypertensive medications. That can cause issues. Diuretics, psychotic drugs, pain medication. So the best thing to do when you're on medication, For one, if you have over 4 medications, check with your doctor, talk about the interaction. Having a good relationship with your doctor is very, very important. And then don't get up too quickly. And that could be from bed, that can be from standing to getting up. Get up slowly so your body has a time to adjust and your blood pressure has time to adjust so it doesn't get low, and then you'll even feel a bit dizzy and fall. So those things will help you as you go forward.
That's really good advice for all ages.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And don't assume when you look at your pill bottle and it says something like, don't drive or operate machinery. Some of those messages are designed for younger people. I had someone who had fallen because of a medication say to me, but it didn't say anything about walking. Well, if something can make it not safe to operate machinery or not drive, then that probably means it makes you dizzy and more susceptible to a fall.
Well, when we return to Healthy Cleveland, we're going to discuss the Matter of Balance program that Dr. you had mentioned earlier, and what are some physical ways that we can help improve our balance. So stay tuned for more Healthy Cleveland.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to Healthy Cleveland. We're discussing fall prevention with Commissioner Nicole Carlton of EMS for City of Cleveland and Dr. Stephanie FallCreek, the President and CEO of Fairhill Partners. So, we kind of discussed earlier about what to do if you're at home or if someone that you love falls. But if you're home alone and you fall, what should you do? Like, what's the best way to kind of get yourself back up when you have no help?
And we'll talk about that. It's important that as anybody gets older, they have a plan in place. So have a plan. What do I do if I am home alone and I fall? We look at medic alert devices are great because you want to be able to get a hold of somebody in the event that you can't get up on your own. And the worst thing is to be laying on the floor and there's nobody that knows you're having an issue. The second thing is you should have a contact, somebody that checks up on you daily. The Department of Aging actually has a program where they can call you daily to make sure you're okay. And if you don't answer, then we know we have a problem. And likewise, you should have family members check up on you. And then if they don't hear from you, we can get help to you quickly. Have a key somewhere in a hidden spot so that somebody can get in, the responders can get in to take care of you if you're on the floor and you can't get up. Prevention, once again, is the key to this, and making sure that in case you do fall and you're home alone, somebody can get to you and somebody knows you have fallen and you're not getting up.
And don't be embarrassed when you fall. Falls happen to lots and lots of people. So many times the consequences get worse because you're embarrassed and you don't tell a family member, you don't call 911, and rumor has it that about half of people don't tell their doctor after they have a fall. It's so important to be assertive and explain what's going on with you.
Well, yeah, and that kind of goes back to earlier when if you're constantly having these issues,
Yes.
There's something more at the core of the matter that needs to be addressed if you're having this issue. Were there any kind of specific safety alert systems or tools that people can get or use? Any kind of products that you recommend?
There are lots of them.
Yeah.
There are lots of them, and people have to make the decision that's best for them, best for their budget, best for their lifestyle. Some people, in fact, use their cell phone as their alert system. But the thing about alert systems is they're one button easy. And if it's something that makes sense in your budget and your life, it's a good thing to have.
Oh, definitely. Now, exercising, though, is something that we can all do, and it's free. What are some exercises you recommend for older adults to do to help with imbalance?
Well, first of all, any safe exercise is better than no exercise. And there are lots of exercise programs. One of the exercise programs that is specifically designed to help people avoid falls and to stay strong so they can do the things they want to do is promoted in the Matter of Balance program. And there are very similar kinds of programs that people can find out about, and they can have their own videos, their own DVDs that teach them, but most folks learn best when they're in a group of their peers. When they can see other people in similar circumstances, it sort of takes away some of that anxiety, and they can practice things that improve flexibility. So if you want to stay upright, keep those ankles flexible, right? Their strength, their balance, their coordination, and very simple, specific exercises can help with all of those things.
Now tell us about Matter of Balance, this great new program being offered through Age Friendly Cleveland.
Yeah. And one of the best things about Age Friendly Cleveland is that most of what's friendly for older adults is friendly for people of all ages, right?
Yeah, great.
And Matter of Balance is an 8-session program, 2 hours each. That might sound like a lot, but I'll tell you what, you get into that program and the time passes before you even know it. And these programs are being offered in city rec centers, in libraries, in churches, in senior centers, almost any place where 6, 8, 10, 12 people can gather can form a class for one of these workshops. And they're offered by Fairhill Partners in partnership with City of Cleveland, EMS, the rec centers, the healthcare systems, because they were designed to be appropriate for older people. In fact, the average age of people in Matter of Balance programs is 79.4.
Oh, wow. Wow. Is there any other additional information with Matter of Balance that our viewers should know about and how they can get more information on it?
You can find out about the Matter of Balance programs through checking the city's website with the Department of Aging, through going to the Fairhill Partners website and finding out when the next program is going to be offered. And EMS will also offer information that provides you the telephone number to call to find out more.
Any other additional information that you think that our older adults in our community should know?
I think the big thing with falls, if you fall, don't assume you feel okay right now. Certain injuries can mask for a day or two, so that's why it's really important to talk to your family members. Let them know you fell, at least they can keep an eye on you, or talk to your physician, and don't be afraid to call 911. That's what we're here for. A lot of people say they don't want to bother us. By all means, they need to bother us and let us come check them out. The other thing is taking care of the hazards, prevention, because we'd rather prevent falls than actually care for people afterwards. So we're looking at your rugs, extension cords. Make sure you're working smoke alarms and smoke detectors in your house, and you can call the Division of Fire for those. Making sure that you know your medications and the side effects, and just because there are side effects doesn't give you an excuse to stop taking them. Just know what they are, and then you can actually modify your life to deal with the side effects. And then wear your glasses, have proper shoes on. Don't wear some house shoes that don't work for you and make you trip. So it's really important to take care of yourself.
And don't be ashamed, right?
Don't be ashamed, and remember, the person who is in charge of your health is you. Fear is not productive when it comes to falls. Managing your fear is the way to get through it and to continue to do the things that you want to do. That's the best form of fall prevention, is realistic self-confidence, taking care of yourself and remembering who's in charge. You are.
That's right. Great words. And so on the screen, you can see more information on how you can contact Fairhill Partners for all the additional information on the program, and of course, the Division of EMS. Thank you so much, Dr. FallCreek and Commissioner Carlton, for being here. So much great information. And thank you so much for watching Healthy Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslage, and we'll see you next time.